December every year comes with a lot of activities, being a season of festivities due to the Christmas celebrations. The season, which usually ushers in a new year, is also characterized by shopping, outings, traveling, and lots of merriment. However, while people may be carried away with these activities, it is pertinent to note that the season also comes with its own downsides, which include a rise in theft, fraud, robbery, and other crimes. Though the security agencies are in place to tackle these vices, criminals also up their games, changing strategies to attack vulnerable people lost in the festivities. To this effect, security at Yuletide is a major concern. This is further compounded by the fact that criminals take cover amidst large crowds of celebrants perpetrating nefarious activities. Now you understand why security at Yuletide is key. Compliments of the season and welcome to Nigeria today. I am your carrier, Clinton. Joining me to provide insights and clarity and security at Yuletide is Wing Commander Musa Salmanu, retired development, peace and security expert. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Ukiria.
And also this Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations in the FCT, Nuruddin A. Sabo. Welcome to the program.
It is my pleasure. Good evening, viewers.
I'll start with you, the Wing Commander that's retired but not tired. Now, just like during the introduction, we heard the how we have a lot of activities during the festive period. Will you give us an overview of some of the security challenges usually experienced during this period?
Well, thank you so much. Like you said in your introduction, it's a season that is characterized by a lot of activities. There is increase in shopping, travels, festivities, and every other activity generally. People move and so on and so forth. So I think the most important thing, or the first thing everybody has to consider, is issue of personal security. That first, you are the most important person when it comes to your own security. That also in terms of security, that it starts first with you, the individual, before it goes around to maybe your neighbors. That's the neighborhood. Then before it goes to the entire community where, for example, security agents come in. You are the first person. So this is, like we said earlier, you have to plan how you do this. People are going to travel, so you have to plan what are the security measures you put in your homes. You have to plan what are the security or arrangements you make in terms of travels, when you're shopping, when you're moving around, when you're even accepting visitors, or when you drive, because this is a season that is known with a lot of movements. People are moving from one point to the other. People are, in terms of merrymaking, are likely going to be drunk. The bad guys are also going to up their game because they know people are traveling. They know people want to be careless, and they also need money, because all these things cost money and they don't have, and they want to get it from other people. So these are likely, in general, terms, these are the issues that you're likely going to face. But there are also the other ones that are the traditional security challenges that we have, or that have come to characterize various parts of the country. For example, those that are traveling to the northeast have to be careful about the issues of, say, Boko Haram attacks, kidnaps, and so on. The same thing with those traveling to the northwest and the southeast. So you have to know where you're going to, what are the peculiar security situations that are there, how you have to avoid them, first as a person, before the issue of the security agencies. So, but coming back to homes, we have to put measures. For example, are you going to provide an additional security measure while you're away? Are you going to ensure that people do not know your movements so much so that they cannot predict and so on. I'm sure those tips will come in handy as we progress. But truly, it's a time that is very precarious. It's a situation whereby people have to take deliberate but more steps to ensure that the security first of themselves and their property first before any other person. So they are the primary people, or we have primary responsibility as individuals for our security and that of our property.
Oh, thank you. He just talked about a lot of activity that will be on during the festive period, and of course the bad guys, just like he said, he rightly pointed out that they're going to up their game.
Yes.
Now, what given this analysis, is the force or the security agents, are they ready to give us a crime-free celebration?
We are very much ready for that. We are committed to create enabling and safer environment for each and every members of the public to celebrate their festivity. Normally, at our on-site, if festivity is coming, we normally sit down and then map strategies and plan, which we call operation order. Operation order is in the operation order we will plan what we are going to achieve and how we are going to achieve that strategies. So the existing anti-crime strategies must be strengthened. First of all, we have to create, or we have to strengthen community relationship with relationships toward getting intelligence from the community, because police cannot be everywhere. We must collaborate with community to give us information, and then we have to create and roll out some proactive measures to curtail or to checkmate the excess of the hoodlums. First of all, we have we will deploy to all churches and all recreation centers and any place that is and can be people can converge and celebrate. We used to deploy our men there, covert and overt personnel. Then we normally create stop and search in certain location, whereby those location is prone and a crime can be committed at any time. So we create stop and search in order to checkmate cars were removed, cars where if car had been removed from a certain place or been snatched. So we'll alert those people that are at various checking point to block and search for that particular vehicle. And then we have to send we have to go for surveillance and get intelligent. We do intelligent lead reading, where we know that there's pocket of criminals used to gather. Maybe they will gather there and assemble themselves and discuss, and before going out to commit havoc. So we read those black spot. We call it black spot, where criminal usually used to converge. So we raided those black spot and arrest and then charge the criminal to court. Then we have to make deployment, that's what we call visibility policing, whereby we create, we sectorize the city center and the satellite town. We create buffer zones where we station in patrol vehicle, like 2 to 3 patrol vehicle with about 10 to 15 policemen to be stationed in one place in case there's any crime that will be committed within that area. Then it will respond to any point, even if it did not happen within where they are, because it will be a deterrent for any. It will serve as deterrent for any evildoer to see where police been deployed to go and commit. Maybe they may commit in a nearby place. So those people that we put at that, we call them buffer zones. They will respond to where the hoodlums they are about to commit a crime. So that's why we call it buffer zones. We sectorize the city center and the satellite town. We put police in strategic location for that purpose. Okay. And then we have aggressive vehicular patrol that will be crisscrossing the street in the city center and then the satellite town. So all this is towards and to create an environment whereby the Christian faithful can go and worship, and then those who want to celebrate in facts and recreation, they will do it without any fear of intimidation or harassment.
Okay. Now, he has reeled out a lot of strategies that the police are putting in place to ensure that the festive period is crime-free. Now, in spite of all these efforts by the police, we've seen in the past where crimes are still, are still being committed, even violent crimes. In your opinion, why is this so?
Well, I would want to focus more on what we as citizens can do, because if you look at what the police have ruled out, it's quite a very elaborate plan. We hope and we're going to support them or the community should support them in implementing this robust plan. So now let's focus on what we citizens could do and why some of these lapses are there, where you find out that these violent crimes could go being perpetrated because they are perpetrated by members of the communities that we live in. We know them sometimes. We know the perpetrators of this crime. Sometimes we don't even report, even though I wouldn't take the blame of the police completely. Sometimes the response is very poor. Now, there is, when we, away from blames and so on, what I want to focus on is, for example, individuals, our homes. Let's ensure that, for example, as simple as lighting, let's light our environs so that in the night, because crime is perpetrated mostly in the dark. When there are lights everywhere, if the government or the FCD puts street lights, we should make sure that in our own homes or those streets that we have street lights also or security lights. Then also we provide, basic barriers that could stop or hinder or at least ensure that if there is a criminal that is trying to get access, it takes him time and so on and so forth. And also personally, let's look at our own environments. Let's study the environments. Let's also report. When you see something, just say something. Even if it is to your neighbor, even if it is to the next person, raise that alarm. In terms of violent crimes, you find out that this has increased as level of insecurity is increasing elsewhere. The level of volume of violent crime is increasing. So you can't take away the fact that other hoodlums or terrorists, as they are, from other parts of the country will want to infiltrate into the FCT. Now, this is where extra vigilance comes in. This is where the security forces, that is the police, the other security actors, that's the military and so on, put in more vigilance because they know that this is a time that is need for security, but this is the time that we are more relaxed. Even security agents, because we're all humans. Even those that are on essential duty could be caught napping. So it's time to call out to everyone that this is not the time to lose track of the vigilance that we need to keep. And this is the time to see something, say something. This is the time to urge the police that you have to improve on your response timing. You have to improve on, in the long term, for example, in terms of prosecution, and because deterrence is key when we do all this.
Now, he's talked about involving the people,
yes,
and trying to make sure that we have a crime-free society.
Yes.
How collaborative is the police with the people?
That's what we call community policing.
Okay.
That's what I say we have to establish and strengthen community relationship. Because police and security agency will not be everywhere. But members of the public will be there when a crime is about to be committed. So if he raises alarm immediately, we will respond and we will abate that crime. In case we didn't abate it, we will make immediate arrest. So that is why we are always appealing to the members of the public. If they see something, they should say something. We have an emergency number. We have the easiest emergency number is this 112. The moment you dial it, you call it, that station will link up with our control room and we will respond immediately. Giving credible and timely information will aid our work in no small measure. We normally get information. We have PCRC, traditional rulers. All these are community leaders. They give us information and we work on that information. We achieve result. And police, we are not only police police that is doing this job. All the sister agencies, we are collaborating. We are synergizing with them to see that we achieve what we want to achieve for a pre-festivity. And what the wing commander said.
I'll have to stop you here, sir, because we have to take a break. You continue.
Okay.
After the break. We'll take a break now to get the people's input as put together by Alika Obanachi.
Please, let me increase the volume.
As individual, people should try to avoid areas where they feel they're unsafe. There are so many areas where when you go, you know that maybe you're exposing yourself to security risks. You try to avoid that. From law enforcement agencies, there are areas that are considered as areas that are prone to security issues. They know them. So they have to focus on areas where there is high concentration of people.
We also need to help them. You get? We don't just, carelessness is not good. So my advice to them and for others, for those that are guiding, the security, they should be conscious and let them not sleep at work. And those ones that are guiding, they should protect themselves more. You get? So the securities are just there to back you up.
My own candid advice is that if you are going anywhere, you should be able to alert some other people where you are going to. Always tell them where you are going to and where you are coming from. Then for the security agents, I think they know where these problems are. They should tackle it. I just pray that we'll get to that point whereby we can be able to exist without fear.
Security day. Maybe security day, you know, they will not go there here. But make them put more effort.
Welcome back. It's still Nigeria Today, and we are discussing security at Yuletide. And our guests are still Wing Commander Musa Salman, retired development, peace and security expert, and DCP Nuruddin A. Sabu, Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations in the FCT. You heard the reaction of the people there.
Yes.
So how would you react to some of the concerns raised?
Yes, what the people are saying is not far from a lot of what we've been saying, that 1, 2 or 3 things. One is that it's a collective responsibility, that security is first and primarily your own responsibility, that you have to take deliberate steps to ensure that you are safe and secure wherever you are, by putting in measures, by adopting strategies that ensure personal safety and that of your property and your immediate environment. Now also they talk about the issue of the security agencies, or people that are charged with that responsibility, who have additional responsibility. Like in this case, the Nigerian police have the primary responsibility, then it's supported. They play the primary role, but they are being supported by other security agencies like the military and the NSCDC and so on and so forth. And the third factor that we're that perhaps sometimes we don't highlight very well, is the community-based security arrangements or architecture, where in various states you call them by different names. In some states they are Mbanga, they are vigilante. Now we have the civilian joint task force. What has happened over time is that they have proven to be very effective. They are part or component of the community policing that the DCP is talking about, whereby these are people within the community. They know the community very well, and sometimes, honestly, if you want events or place to be crime-free, they know the criminals. They know how to approach them and so on. So if you have this collaboration at the 3 levels, the individual up to including the immediate neighborhood, then you have the community-based security arrangements, the vigilante and so on. Some are actually formal because they are supported by the state, and that's then the third layer or the third level is the security agencies that are charged with that responsibility. If you have cooperation and are being coordinated by the police, which has the primary responsibility for that, then you find out that you are likely to have a festive crime-free period, or at least it's reduced to the barest minimum.
I'm going to stop you there to hear from DCP. You heard what somebody said. He said they know where the crimes are. They should go and tackle it. So what is the police doing differently to retain and, you know, to sustain the trust of Nigerians?
It's getting the getting intelligence from the members of the public or from on our operative. We used to get a credible intelligence and work on that, we achieve result. And I want to, and what the wing commander said about we have to be, and we have to be to up our games, and especially in this critical situation. And IGP, in his magnanimity, cancel all leave. Even those who are on leave, they have been called because to make massive deployment in all strategic locations. Any location that is front for a crime to be committed, we want to, we have make arrangement to make massive deployment. And we are still appealing to the members of the public to cooperate in giving us information. As the wing commander rightly said, those vigilante and JTF, they know the terrain. They know the terrain more than us because they are from the community. They know who is who. They know how and who came out by social time to commit or about to commit. They give us information. We used to patrol together with them, and we achieve results. So the members of the public, we need their cooperation because we cannot do it alone. Security is everybody's business. Everybody is involved, and you have to be security conscious of yourself. Protect yourself before somebody will protect you. You have to be conscious. If you see something, say something. Not until something happens. The moment you observe any unusual movement or suspected people whom your instincts show that they are criminal, raise alarm. Then we'll promptly respond and do the needful.
Another thing I want to know, how protected can, what kind of protection will the police be giving to these people that will be giving information? Because sometimes they are afraid.
It's highly confidential, highly confidential. Even a judge cannot compel us to reveal who gives information. Even in court of law, we have that immunity. It's highly confidential. If somebody, members of the public, they think that our junior officers, if they give them information, they will reveal their identity, they can contact us directly. We have numbers, emergency number that they can call us and give us any information, and we'll work on it, and it will be confidential. We will never reveal their identity. We don't do that.
Okay,
yes.
We commander. So he said a lot about collaborative efforts, but people, and of course, I really want to know how critical is the synergy, between security agencies to mitigate criminal activities. How?
Well, it's very important. In fact, it can be overemphasized, the importance of synergy. Important because when you create, silos of activities or security protection, you end up without anybody being protected. If, for example, every agency says that we want to show that we are the ones doing the work, and that's why it's very important. The police is the lead agency in internal security operations. And for a very long time, sorry to say, the police had shied away from this leadership and has allowed it to other security agencies. But I'm happy that this is, people are beginning to realize that the police is beginning to take up that responsibility, that leadership of internal security. And even the other agencies are beginning to also realize and accept that, look, the police, this is their, if I will say that, this is their baby, this is their terrain. So when you have the police in charge of that, coordinating all other agencies that are supporting them, you find out that at every point, the police knows what is happening, the police is given instructions of what is to be done, and is being reported back. So the information or the instructions go out, and if there's any information, is reported back to the same place, decision is taken, and response is made collectively as an individual entity. So when we have a disparate or different efforts, then you find out that the total is zero. So synergy is very important. I want to urge the police also to step up again. Yes, they are doing very well, but there's always room for improvement. Accept this responsibility because it is yours. Coordinate properly and ensure that other agencies do not lose confidence. When they are confident that the leadership by the police is providing or is taking up that responsibility, you find out that everybody fits in. And when everybody fits in, you find out that we have a seamless operation, and the results will be unimaginable, because all the agencies have unique capabilities that they bring to the table. And when you put all of them together, working together as a team, then the result is marvelous.
Okay, so what advice would you have for Nigeria, especially those of them that are usually good, they are good at using the Facebook, informing people where they are, and you know, passing information.
And it's very, very bad for them to go to a Facebook and start showing how they are spending, how they are living marvelously, and what have you. Is very, very, and it's not good enough. They are exposing themselves to danger. So if you want to spend moderately. If you want to travel, only tell your immediate relation or neighbor where you are traveling. You avoid picking strangers along the road. And then when you are going, as the Wing Commander rightly said, secure your house, illuminate the house, front and rear. That will be a deterrent to any evildoer to try to scale the fence or to break the door and enter and carted away your items while you are not around. You have to secure your house. And then if you have a private guard, warn him to be off and doing. And our numbers is there in case he cannot overcome any thing. He can call the our emergency number, and will respond immediately. And appealing to members of the public, now there's a trend because of this festivity. Everybody wants to get money anyhow. So I'm appealing to the members of the public, especially those having Prado, Jeep, and Hilux. These bad boys, they are eyeing those vehicles. They should try their base and foot tracker and those vehicles to avoid snatching, to avoid remove wear fact. Because if there's tracker, wherever it to go, we'll track it and get that vehicle.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If you see something, say
something.
Security is a collective effort. And that's it on Nigeria Today. We want to thank our guests for their insights. Wing Commander Musa Salman, retired development and security expert. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And Nuruddin Isabo, Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations in the FCT. We thank you very much for coming.
It is my pleasure.
We thank our viewers for keeping the date on our program. Don't forget, you can watch Nigeria Today weekdays at 7:30 in the evening on NTA News 24. You can also watch these and other editions at www.youtube.com/NTA News 24. I am Victoria Clinton. Bye-bye.